think it was kind of a back and forth of who was propelling who. The turnovers, I think, got everybody like, all right, this can be a fun game.
When he gets going, the whole team gets going. He's such an igniter to this thing. And it's like Preston and I were talking about this earlier today. It's sort of like you have a basketball team, and you have one dude who is clearly your best player, and he's your bucket getter. And what do? You get him the rock as much as possible. Last time I checked, the offense starts every time with that guy getting the ball. His usage rate is down a bit from last year and how he affects games. I spent way too much time on this today. And he needs to be the igniter of this football team. And you saw it, like, to your point, on Saturday. Once he started getting lathered up, not only was he going, everybody was going.
You saw the O-line start getting fired up. And they're not, and this, when they start getting chippy and pushing people around and doing, that's where you want the O-line to do that to an extent. You don't want to get penalties on it, but to the point where they feel comfortable and dominant and talking trash is fine. Mm-hmm. I want my O-line to be dirty, mean,
have some
and out there and just and want to knock the crap out of the guy in front of them or whatever, And that's what it really started with. He's breaking tackles. He can work this hard. We got to do the same thing. But we start battling for him. If he's battling for us, we're battling for him, and that's why it's the greatest team sport there is out there.
When you look at where they are now, 3-2. Last year they were 3-2, then 3-3. What kind of similarities do you draw with? It's two different teams, obviously, but what similarities might you see in where they were last year and where they are now?
We find in the wins we've had, we find ways to win in different ways. We did the same thing last year when it came to special teams, defense, getting touchdowns, getting turnovers, and finding a way until offense started clicking. You remember last year we were ready to fire everybody on offense too. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? We just started, baby step, and all of a sudden, Lenoris was making plays, but not like, then became Superman. So we're there. We were hoping coming into the season we didn't have to have these baby steps. We were hoping we didn't have to have these wounds at the beginning of the season, but we have them. Hopefully we're learning from them. What do we have to do better? I'm hoping that the quarterback has learned from this. This is what I have to do. The O-line still struggling. They weren't great last year.
Right, they weren't. I mean, they gave up 41 sacks last year.
Yeah, so I mean,
and that's in addition to whatever Lenoris was able to do.
Lenoris, what, he gave her 10 of them maybe last year with his capability?
That's what and we were like, oh man, we didn't get. But what game was it? We didn't give up a sack. We're like, yeah, well, he broke 12 sackable plays. I mean, it was like, yeah, we did.
It was like you said a few weeks ago. Those ended up being big plays half the time.
They were the best plays we had. But and it is. Again, this game, those were some of the best plays we had. He made scrambles. He broke some tackles. He spun out of a guy, used the ball as a pivot, and that was like, it's a wow moment. If you saw the film, the defensive guys watching on the screen going, oh, I mean, it makes everyone excited, not just us fans.
Beamer smiling, Michigan was a sideline on that play.
Well, and that's what people were clamoring for, whomever people might be.
You and me.
Yeah, because everybody, because you can tell, and to Terry's point, this is someone, I mean, it's hard to put a direct equivalent on it because I think we know how much Connor Shaw meant to this team when he was leading it as a quarterback, but it was more like those times, not when Marcus got, when he was done those 2 years, but remember like the game at Kentucky, his freshman year, second half, they just kind of fell apart.
After he got...
Yeah, the bowl game against FSU. It's like they just kind of fell apart, and it feels like when Lenoris isn't there, the team just doesn't know what to do. Like when Carolina lost Connor before the Clemson game, again, we never knew that Dylan was going to have the freaking game of his life.
Yeah, but true. Yeah,
but he did.
That's what he did.
And
that's what. But you have to have that guy to step up, and that's what's scary. Is like if are we so heavy? Is his back going to hurt so bad because we're dependent on him? And if he does have an off game, we have no one else to step up. He's still, even an off game, he's going to be our starter.
Right.
But someone else has to step up. Running back or whatever, defense, special teams, and they are doing that.
Right.
But he's still, you can tell even the fire, the energy, and that may not be just because of Lenoris. Maybe because they got something to prove with all the haters as well. When you have six going out there playing like he was playing, and that was all. I don't know what Kentucky was thinking, not double teaming him most of the plays, but
right.
but other guys started making plays around him. Once he started making plays and getting hyped up, and we're getting turnovers, everybody wants a piece of that. Why not me? I want a turnover. I want to pick. I want to smash somebody. I want to come back and break somebody's ribs. I want to do. They started feeling that energy, and defensively, you could tell that as well. Now the first quarter, for some reason, we had no outside contain, and they ran the ball over us. We changed that. We go get some outside contain. We're smacking them in the face.
They had
Why they threw the ball at all, I don't know. That was the dumbest thing they ever did. I mean, the first throw of the game, he should have been picked off.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, what if I'm Kentucky and the OC, I'm like, why were we throwing?
Well, that and that's one of the things we talked about yesterday.
Jay and I were
after a
having fun
while,
with that yesterday.
Yeah,
Like
UK was like, we don't know what to do.
Every time Kentucky dropped back, they were doing the Gamecocks a favor.
Oh, I love it.
It
Every
certainly
time.
felt like it.
If we stopped them on first down was a run, I was like, oh, we're in.
Yeah. Lots more to do as it's a Brewsday edition of the program. Jay and Terry with you, Jalen at Master Control, and Ryan Brewer in the house. We'll come back on the other side. We do have a start bench drop today, somewhat in honor of the baseball playoffs, but not entirely. Not entirely. Just something that popped into my head during this morning's show prep. So we'll have that for you, too, and plenty more to do as we get Brew's take on where the Gamecocks need to work on the off week. We'll do that as the postgame show rolls on.
I don't really think a lot changed. I think I was just more aggressive. Really, when I'm running the ball, we can throw it too as well. So it's kind of like, let's say it was overplaying, I'm pulling it, and they're overplaying the pass. It's just making that guy miss. That one guy miss, and then it's pretty much good from there.
Lenore Sellers, more aggressive, just maybe opening things up a little bit. Believe what you want to believe, but he was in command. That's the word I used yesterday.
It comes down to he wanted the ball in his hands. Like we've had RPOs, we've had zone reads, we've had all this. And if there's an indecision at all, if someone's playing you 50-50, keep the ball.
Yeah.
You are the best. And again, I like our running backs, but you are the best runner we have.
Oh,
and you put you on the perimeter.
Is it even close?
Probably not. No.
I know what you mean.
On the perimeter and scat. No, but running straight ahead, I don't want him doing. But when it comes to anytime, it said if you have a doubt in your mind, keep the ball.
Uh-huh.
If they're just coming straight flat at you, like numbers, like head, on your numbers, then you can give it. Other than that, keep the ball.
Let me ask you to that point then, and I don't mean to ask this in like a negative way towards what was or wasn't happening in the first few games, but we talked about, is he trying too hard to stay in the pocket? Is the indecisiveness more a product? I told Terry he was making bad plays for good reasons. You see what I mean by that? And now, to your point, all right, let's let the indecision just fall to the other side. Like, Lenoris, you decide when the time is right, as opposed to just trying to over-decide.
Be instinctive and play football.
Yeah, I think, yes, and I think they put him in situations where he could do that more rollouts, more play actions, where the pocket moved a little bit here or even a lot. That seemed like there was some more – we had the ball a little bit more and stuff with RPOs. There was more zone read stuff, but he didn't fall down twice when he was getting sacked. He tried to make play. That's the aggressive part I think he's talking about. I'm breaking tackles. That's aggressive. Being aggressive I'm taking the ball on a read. That's being aggressive. The play calling itself, sitting in the pocket trying to do that. They're the same plays. Same things are happening. Same routes are being run. Protections are being maybe we're shifting a little bit more, which I think they need to do almost every time. Because what's his throw on the run? His percentage is ridiculous. He's outside the pocket on big plays, explosive plays. So that's where he's good. That's his money. That's where he's really good at what he's doing. So we keep pushing that thing. Now I think again going back to it, breaking tackles, doing that, and then trying to that's being Sellers. That's doing what he's the best at. And I think now he realizes that's his more aggressive in his head. He doesn't sound more aggressive when he talks about anything. So it's kind of hard. It's like, when you interview him, it's like, are you being more aggressive?
Did you hear when Grandpa got popped? They asked him, and he's just like, yeah, I looked up on the Jumbotron. Grandpa got hit by my granddad. Okay, let's roll. Let's play.
Next.
To your point you guys are bringing up, I spent way too much time on this today. I got to get a life. I compared the 6-game win streak of last year and just how he affects the game, like his amount of passing attempts and running attempts. I took sacks out of the equation. Basically, he was, and I'll use usage for lack of a better term, 60% of those plays in the 6-game winning streak was Lenore Sellers. This year so far, he's down to around 52%. So the amount of, plays he's affecting the game is down. Now, to your point,
it could be
Saturday. Now, it was back to where it should be on Saturday.
It's
about
over 60.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 98.
Oh, he was 72% of the offense.
Okay, so
on that 6-game win streak, he, on total yards, he was, for lack of a better term, the guy on 72% of your total yards last year in that 6-game win streak, throwing it and running it. And he's around that now.
But that's why we were Heisman-esque conversation was there.
Absolutely.
Anybody that's won the Heisman, you are probably 70 or higher % of the offense.
Yeah, think about it. He's probably over 70%, and he's over 60%, around 60% on the usage rate. That's what he had. And here's the biggest difference, and no Rocket Sanders this year. He doesn't have Batman to his Rob. He's not have his Robin to his Batman. He just doesn't. He doesn't have that other guy who... Think about the games Rocket affected at times, like the Missouri game with the run, how many yards he gained in some of those other games. You don't have that guy to be his sidekick this year, so it's even more important for Lenoris to do what you're saying.
Yeah, I have no analogy for Superman the dogs. The dog's in the new one, but I don't know the name of the dog.
I do.
I can't go Batman.
Can't be Lois
There's no
Lane.
superpowers.
Crypto.
Batman. He's got,
Batman's got
Crypto
a bat
is
belt.
the
at least you're staying in the D.C. area. But
Okay. That's true.
Crypto.
was the dog's name?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think that's right. Is that right, Jalen? Do you know?
That was a horrible movie, by the way.
Was it bad?
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I didn't see it because
Dog's the best
I
part, but
heard
it
it
was bad.
wasn't very.
It's
good.
not.
That's too bad.
Bummer.
But yeah, but we'll go back to
What the hell were we talking
what
about?
were we talking about? You got me on Batman.
Superman.
That's over there.
Yeah.
But
No Rocket Sanders.
There's no Rocket Sanders.
There's not a Rocket Sanders. There's not a guy that's breaking tackles. We finally got in the end zone with 3 rushing touchdowns with guys, which again a confidence thing. But I think the whole Fuller experiment going in there. Again, the fourth quarter running, what would be 15, 16 running plays in a row, no passing plays to burn that clock. How boring you want to say it was. That was awesome in my head because it was just that was so.
Well, did you see what Wes Mitchell said
to the Kentucky defense?
See, I didn't think about it until I read Wes's piece yesterday. Wes was like, the reason. Well, he didn't say the reason because he wasn't sure, but Wes was like, "Do we think that Shane did that just to show Mark Stoops? Look what we're doing to you, bud."
Yeah, but I bet he wanted to break one off there
maybe,
too.
maybe.
Same time, he didn't want to go 2 yards, 3 yards.
You
2
can't
yards.
you can't stop it. Look at
but it's still at the same time. That's not what he wanted to do. But when it was done, he's going, "That was awesome.
That was pretty cool."
Now, I wish we didn't get stopped on fourth down there. We kept doing it and scored because that would have been a huge exclamation point of or the finger going up, whatever.
It is demoralizing.
But it is. And you're wearing them down.
Well, and it's almost insulting because Kentucky got the ball back with like 3 seconds.
I know.
But yeah. Oh, here you go. Your turn. Your turn.
Yeah, go.
What do you want to do with that?
Yeah.
But I think the
And
whole
they had to come in.
Fuller going in there because they were trying to find somebody. It's almost like I talked about with Rattler when he first was here, getting sacked so many times. When Sellers, there's a point when you, as a running back or a player, the things start happening so much you're going to look like with Rattler. He's not looking downfield. He's trying to find where the feet of his own line. He's worried about getting sacked and doing that. So with running back, same thing. The line keeps getting pushed back. You don't know where to make a cut. You don't know where to, so everything now, when they get the ball, they're just downhill. I'm trying to get 1-2 yards. I'm trying to get 1-2 yards. In this game, there was actually some holes and some jump cuts that could have happened if they had the patience or, the peripheral vision or even the know-how to do that. But at the same time, I feel for them because they're so used to getting smoked right, 2 yards back. This game, there wasn't a huge push. There may be the three guys or whoever getting a good push in the backside, getting cross face, and that's where it's like, okay, if I can read that, I'm seeing it, I can go here, bam, jump a cut to the right, and now I'm wide open. I have a 20-yard gain. So I think it's like, all right, we're going to throw another guy in here. Maybe he'll see this. But he's a bowling ball, and he's doing the same thing. He's just, but he's pushing forward even more. And it's not going to get easier with the D lines we're facing. So this O line's got to get some push, and these guys got to get used to doing it. I mean, it's a completely different game out there when you had the feel of, man, I got to get 3 yards. I got to get 3 yards instead of I got to make a big play.
That's a great point. Shane even said there were some things the running backs didn't see, but you make the great. Well, Shane, here's why. Let me understand real quick, man. I get the ball and I'm eating somebody's shoulder pads every time.
I'm sick of negative yards, so I want to get at least 5 yards.
Give me something.
The game's over. I want 5 yards rushing. Okay.
It's Brewsday. Lots more to do with Ryan as we head into the break. Let me give you today's start bench drop. As I said, inspired somewhat, not really by the baseball playoffs as much as something I read this morning. So before I give it to you, I'll tell you what the inspiration was. Now that the regular season's done, we have the winners of all the statistical categories. Trey Turner of Philadelphia is the National League batting champion. He hit 304. It is the lowest ever National League batting championship average. Batting average.
By how much?
The last Tony Gwynn, the great Tony Gwynn, I believe hit 313 back in the late 80s. And that was the lowest in the National League's history. Aaron Judge hit 331 which is pretty good actually for a slugger in the American League. So anyway, with that in mind, today's start, bench, drop, alphabetical order. Which of these means the most? Batting average, completion percentage in football, shooting percentage in basketball.
Ooh, good one.
Batting average, completion percentage.
I like it.
Shooting percentage. So have fun with that one. That's today's start, bench, drop. Lots more to do on Brewsday. Coming back.
Lenore Seller's going to come out and get under center with Fuller behind him. Lenore brings Jacobs in motion, turns around, hands off Fuller, dives down low. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Matthew Fuller. That's the first of his career from 1 yard out. He took him down on the drive. And now the Gamecocks are up 34-13 in the fourth quarter over Kentucky.
And they would add the extra point, the final scoring of the ball game. Gamecocks get their first conference victory, 1-2 in the SEC, 3-2 overall, off this week at LSU. Next week, the game will kick in the 7 p.m. Eastern hour. We don't know exactly when yet. The folks at Disney, Mickey, Goofy, somebody will let us know sometime Saturday night.
They really huddling Mickey, Goofy, Donald Duck, the whole crew, just kind of getting together, coming up with start times.
Well, I mean, Mickey's in charge, man.
Oh, he runs the show.
It's called the Mouse for a reason.
That's right.
It ain't, I don't think it's.
Do you think Donald's a little jealous?
Nah, he's rich.
That is true. He's got that.
He's doing fine.
You don't think he cares?
He's doing fine.
His ego's in check?
He lives on a boat.
It is true.
I mean, come on. He lives on a boat.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he's good.
Mickey's got to deal with Minnie. Donald's a bachelor like the Hugh Hefner of Disney.
Yeah, I think Daisy.
Donald's doing okay.
I think they're exclusive, right?
Do you think?
He and Daisy?
I don't think they're exclusive. What do you think, Brian?
I don't know. They walk around with no pants on, so I mean,
What's wrong with that?
Let's be honest.
What's wrong with that?
Eric's already trying to take his off.
Who doesn't around their boat?
yeah.
Don't you walk around your boat with no pants on, Brewer? What you
Don't
do?
walk around with that.
What was Todd's call when Stewart came back at the end of the first half? He just lost his liver or something. What did he say? What did he say when Dylan came and crushed him?
We don't have that highlight. No,
I don't think we got that
You got to
highlight.
find that cut because that was.
Me too. All right, Tyler, if you're listening in the car, get on that.
Cut us up that way.
Get on that. Anyway, welcome back in. Ryan Brewer is in the house. I didn't even give you your full introduction, which I apologize for, so I'll do that now. He is the former Gamecock running back, wide receiver, punt returner, kick returner, special teams gunner, team captain, husband, father, business owner, soccer coach. And now you're like a world traveler, going all over the place all the time. Well, at least up and down I-95.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a world traveler.
It was great. I obviously was not at the game because we were in Orlando, but I got to see Coach Holtz for.
How's he doing?
He's doing fine. He's mentally he's there.
Good.
Sharp as a tack, man.
Who paid for the meal?
I was at his country club, so he did.
Oh, nice.
I didn't even offer. I usually do, but I didn't offer.
Now, when you say his country club,
the country club that he goes to, he doesn't have one. But
well, it wouldn't surprise me.
Well,
yeah.
Now, if it wasn't if it wasn't his country club, would you have paid?
No.
You sure?
Right.
No, I would offer. I think last time I did offer, he wouldn't let me.
Oh,
That's nice.
that is good.
I always. I mean, why not? What are you supposed to
But
do?
you know he's
nice.
good. He knows
No,
he's going to do it anyway, right?
Nice to offer. It's nice to offer.
He owes me lunch.
Have you?
No, he was awesome.
I should know this, but I'm
Spitting
gonna.
out words of wisdom every second.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask. Has he taken you to lunch over in the dining room at the Augusta National Golf Club?
No, that has not happened.
Do you think it should?
Nah, I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. I mean, I kind of think maybe you should, man.
If the opportunity's there, I would take
How
it,
often
but I would not. It's not something you just
does
say.
he really go that often anymore?
I don't. Probably not. Especially not now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he's doing
Turns
well.
89 this week. If it's not
Really?
sometime this week, it may be today.
You want me to look
Happy
it up?
birthday if it's today, but if not, happy birthday this week. So.
All right, off week. Yeah, a lot of cliches, but for this team, they cleaned up the penalties. That was nice, right? But you were just talking about things like running back vision and running back awareness. You know the role. Tell us what some of that looks like when you're just doing you. What does that look like in terms of building your technique?
So I've tried to how do you simulate it, right? So if you're going in practice, normally, hey, this is the way we're going to practice, or we're going to run this certain play, whatever it is. Every time you run this play, especially if it's against air or the second team, third team, you get push. And here's the holes should be, and the holes are 90% exactly where they should be. That's not happening in a game. So you simulate, oh, I got beat. This guy just crossed my face. I got to come to these jump cuts. You can do that as individual when your coach are throwing bags at them, running cuts and stuff like that. But it's such a different feel actually running that play, knowing where the play is supposed to hit. But now right tackle got beat or whatever, right guard got beat, whatever it is, and now I have to make that adjustment. And normally, if it's one guy, because I always say running back's job is make one miss. After that, things happen. Mm-hmm. But you have to make one miss. You shouldn't have to make one miss 2 yards deep in the backfield. I mean, that's not the game plan. That's not it. It usually has to be a linebacker filling safety, something like that. You're trying to make miss in the hole or 2, 3, 4 yards deep, and that's your job. So it's hard to simulate and practice that because you're not if you're getting that push there. So it's really mental game's tough there. I really don't know what they're doing, if they can do anything to make that better besides, hey, I want you to, on these plays, if it's third down and short, yes, get the 1/2, whatever the yardage is. If it's first down, second down, let's be an athlete. Hit the hole, get your vision going, make some jump cuts, make something happen, be an athlete. What's the difference between 1 yard and 0 yards? If you're dancing sometimes, be a little more patient. If you hit in the backfield, you hit in the backfield. So but that's such a hard thing for a running back that's a downhill runner, a hard runner to do. So that's where I'm wondering, like, hey, let's put some fresh legs in, eyes in, and see if they can make this happen. There's a lot of things out there, at least on tape now, they can see and say, all right, yeah, you're right, I should have done this, should have done that. Where the first couple of games, they couldn't do that because it was bang, bang, right in the backfield.
Right.
So this one, they finally had at least some tape to say, hey, this is how we get better.
And then that part, too, like you said, you can't simulate that in practice. So that's where just a lot of your instinct comes in, too, right?
You can simulate it, but I'm saying, like, how do you simulate it? Like,
right, some point.
Hey, I'm trying to, just name one of the O linemen. Hey, get beat like you normally do in a game, and then we'll so he can learn. Blow the block so we can figure out how to do that. Like, how do you?
It's tough.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's where I guess instinct and vision and stuff like that just take over because, I mean, all hell's broke loose by that point, and all that pretty play was in practice is gone.
Yeah, that's where, again, dominate some plays that you're really good at. Get to the edge. Let's see what these guys' speeds are. See what Faison's speed is. The only thing I would love, for him is, again, be a little more patient. Put the ball on the outside arm. He likes to, the ball's always in one arm and things like that, and just protect it, and let's get some yards. But at least they have some tape. You got a week now to work on it. The O-line's got it. Are we getting better? We're progressing a little bit. Then we get another injury, which is huge. Got to work on our stunts, protecting. That's, I think, both teams, Kentucky and South Carolina. If they just every time we ran a tackle and end stunt, it was over. These guys couldn't figure it out.
Right.
What do you feel like Rasul Faison's going through as somebody who had 1,100 yards last year? I know it's a different conference, and I know there's a step up, but how? I mean, for what he gained last year to what he's being asked to do, the job
is frustrating,
right?
I mean, it's just even my freshman year, not playing a bunch and coming in and knowing I'm not making an impact is frustrating. Having a bad game, anytime you have a game, I don't care. Normally, when your game's over, if you carried the ball 1 time, 10 times, 30 times, and you didn't have the rushing yards that you thought you should have, you're going to be frustrated. But you're going to find a way. All right, how do I get better? How do I better myself? That's where I think it's like, all right, now if I watch film and I could have done this, that, I'm like, all right, that's on me. If I start watching film and this guy got blown up, that's hard. I guarantee it's hard there watching, especially in team. And you're looking at that guy and go, man, you're making me look bad. So that's where, like I said, it's the greatest team sport in the world. So because if that guy messes up, it makes me look bad. So we got to find a way now. Let's figure this out. Let's have a little kumbaya and say, man, let's figure this crap out before I put my. And next time I'm ramming my helmet right through your pads. And that's part of knowing the plays too, calling each other out. And accountability. It's part of football. It is. I mean, anytime I knew I was if I got tackled and I know who tackled me and what happened, I knew who blew the assignment. Yeah. I knew what happened. I knew what everyone on that line was supposed to do.
Right.
Where what I was supposed to do, what they were supposed to do. If they had this stunt going on, I know exactly where I should have cut, what this guy was. I mean, the knowledge of the game is huge, and mentally, and knowing that in a split second is huge. It's also big in the huddle and be like, hey man, why'd you miss that block?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, and they don't want to miss them either. So don't get me wrong. It's not like they're going on purpose unless they don't like them. But that doesn't happen often.
Right.
We'll wrap it up with Brew on the other side. Again, today's start, bench, drop, batting average, completion percentage, shooting percentage. That's, of course, batting average speaks for itself, right? Completion percentage in football, shooting percentage in hoops. Which one means the most? That's your start, bench, drop. You're listening to the Postgame Show. 11 minutes in front of 4 o'clock here on this Tuesday afternoon. Final few minutes of our Brewsday with Ryan. And as we say every time, because it's true, Ryan Brewer's visits on the postgame show and 107.5 The Game here in Columbia and across the network are very conveniently brought to you by Ryan Brewer.
How much money has Ryan Brewer dropped on this Ryan Brewer to be here? I mean, they're sponsored the way it is. It's a lot of dough.
It's actually hard to come here every time. 'Cause the ROI is probably not quite what it is. So, but let's up that game.
We'll get somebody in the sales department to try to measure that for you.
Listeners out there, if you need a fence, let's figure this out. Go to ryanbrewer.net or give us a call, and we can take care of any of your fence needs. I've been doing this for 20 years with a great team, and go out there from your commercial fence, residential, temporary, custom railings, gates, custom almost anything. We've got a huge warehouse or fab shop that can do pretty much anything. Getting into some other stuff coming up, exciting things in the hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, and we get that up and running, and we'll let you know about that.
Tattoo shop or whatever.
Yeah, tattoo parlor. No, that would be not doing that. But just ryanbrewer.net for anything you need, fence, rails, columns. We can help. We can take care of you.
I think when you put a fence up for someone, you ought to. Part of that deal is you offer them to get a Ryan Brewer tattoo.
Just the art, just our logo.
We were fenced by Brewer.
That RB
like
logo.
RB.
We can do branding.
I think that would be beautiful. You mean cattle branding?
We have our logo on a brander that we
get branded by Ryan Brewer.
We thought our wood
I'm in, baby. Let's go.
Save $100.
How many beers would it take to?
Wow, that's a lot of beers, man, to get branded.
I
would tell you.
But there's places where people can see examples of your work. Like I always tell people, like the VA, the VA complex, the whole VA
hospital.
That's a hell of a job.
Yeah, VA hospital.
Like a mile of fence.
Yes, more than that. Probably somewhere around there. In the back line you can't see, but the treks that we did out there, and that's been a huge composite fence.
Yeah,
privacy stuff that we do out there has been a big seller lately too. But yeah, all over. Go to Instagram. You can see everything that we do.
Nice.
Yeah. And ryanbrewer.net. All right. Start, pinch, drop, batting average, completion percentage, shooting percentage.
Yeah, starting, man, you got to go with completion percentage. Okay. That has the most impact on the game. That's and then I guess shooting percentage would be benched. I drop batting because it doesn't matter. You can have 0.001 hit a home run and you can win the game.
Yeah, or you get walked a lot.
Yeah. So I think really that's probably you could really be really bad batting average and still be a heck of a baseball player.
That's this season would bear you out with that. And speaking of baseball, you're a Cincinnati Reds fan. They're in the playoffs.
They made it,
and they did it over the New York Mets, which is great.
They're on fire, right?
Yeah, well,
they're in. Once you get in, now it's on. So they're I'm excited about that. Get the big red machine going.
When did the Reds play?
Tonight against the Dodgers.
Yep.
So is it late?
Hunter Green.
9 o'clock.
Yes, 150-mile-an-hour fastball tonight.
Well, start a game at 9 o'clock though. Baseball game.
Yeah, but that's on the coast. It's only 6 on the West Coast.
Out there. Man. Yeah, 9 o'clock.
But you're playing against the East Coast team.
That's advantage. That's advantage West Coast.
I know, but I want to watch it. That's what I'm saying.
You can stay up.
No, I'm not staying up.
Hey, go home, take a nap.
I got volleyball to watch and then whatever. Right. But anyway.
All right, yeah, Jalen, what you got?
I'm not happy because I'm a Mets fan and we lost to the Reds. So yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, Jay, I didn't know that Jalen was a Mets fan.
I didn't either.
It was good having you here, Jalen. We're going to miss you.
Yeah.
We're going to miss you. Thanks for hanging around.
Yeah, I'm not at all. I'm not going to lie, dude. I'm not at all sorry that the New York Metropolitans missed the playoffs. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
I lost a lot of sleep over that and did not.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, before I forget, this day, you guys will dig this. This is the day that the U.S. District Court of Appeals turned the entire college world upside down. Name, image, and likeness violated antitrust laws on this day in 2015.
This was Judge Wilkins' court out there?
Yep, 2015. This day.
Hey, by the way, you're off the hook, Brew. At least according to the great Wikipedia, which most of the time is right. January 6th is Coach Holtz's birthday.
You just missed.
Yeah.
Is that, you think that's wrong?
You just missed this week.
I think that's right.
Okay.
September.
You want to call him real quick?
Hey, Jalen, we're going to give you Lou Holtz's phone number real quick. Let's get him on the air.
No, we won't do that.
Yeah, he could have been wrong. But I swear he told me on Sunday
He could
that
have
his
been wrong
birthday
about
was
his
he's turning
birthday.
89. He's turning 89 next week. But he could have.
Well, his next birthday, he will be 89. There is that.
Maybe he said that. Maybe I was. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Well, you're good.
It was a great day with him.
That's good. No, that's awesome.
That's cool.
I'm glad he's doing well. Good to see you.
Yeah. So hope to beat Idell State this week.
They should. I feel confident. I haven't seen a spread, but should be fine. All right, we'll do it again next week with Brew.
See
Again,
you guys next Tuesday.
RyanBrewer.net.
All right, man. See you, brother.
Ryan21Brewer
See you, brother.
on Twitter. A lot more from Shane that we'll get to in the next hour to continue looking back at the Kentucky game and a new Save College Sports bill in Congress. Yay. 4 o'clock on this Tuesday. Welcome back in. Second hour of the post-game show coming at you from the Herndon Chevy Studios in downtown Columbia, South Carolina, alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Appreciate you being with us. Jalen Tart's at Master Control this afternoon, and Ryan Brewer just out of here. Again, Ryan21 Brewer to follow along on Twitter. RyanBrewer.net for all the business side of things.
I think it's interesting. He's got a cattle brand that he carries around with him. It's interesting.
Something like that.
RB.
I don't know if he carries it around.
Well, he might have it in the car right now.
I don't know. He's got a big old truck.
He's got a big old truck?
Yeah.
I am surprised.
No, he's got to carry a lot of stuff.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I remember the first time that, I think the first time we were in this building, and Ryan, if you want to text me to correct me, but because, again, Ryan's been doing the show with us for many, many years, including well before we moved over here. And he had just gotten a new truck. And he was parking here in this garage behind our building.
Okay.
And he was just going to be like a guest.
Mm-hmm.
He scraped the top of it.
No.
And
really?
And Mrs. Brewer was unhappy that he had. And I was like, well, dude, what? You know, I didn't. He's like, oh, I just thought, you know, it was the right thing to do to park in the garage.
Oops.
So.
You know, our rig, our station truck, almost scrapes the top of that thing. So I can see Brewer's taking out the top.
His is bigger. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he has another one now.
Yeah,
I don't know
but still, man.
But yeah, but that thing's. The thing is, these, and I'm not picking on people that obviously, because I drive a Sequoia, so I drive something rather large too. These downtown garages that were built in the 70s were not built for people that drive oversized vehicles.
No. No.
So if you drive, again, like I drive a Sequoia, or if you drive a big F-150 or big Ram or whatever, big Toyota Tundra, not the most convenient.
The sound of the top of your vehicle scraping the parking building has got to be
not good.
Bad.
Not good.
I told you when we did one of those campus visits, I don't know if I told you the story or not. We were in one of these parking garages. It was an American University. And this guy had a Tesla. And I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he got in an argument with somebody in his car. He backed out real fast, nailed the entire side of the Tesla on the concrete. Now, when you're parking, they have the concrete slabs that set the sections.
Yeah.
The sound of that Tesla basically taking off the entire side. Yeah, it was like Elon Musk showed up and fixed it right away. But that sound was brutal, man. And I'm just sitting there going, man.
Yeah, that's not good.
Wiped out the whole side of his Tesla. I don't know who made him mad.
Somebody.
Somebody did. But anyway.
Maybe Elon did. Who knows?
Yeah, well, you know, that would never happen.
I'm going to leave that one alone. Today's start bench drop, batting average, completion percentage, shooting percentage, basketball shooting percentage. I don't know. I guess hockey has something similar.
Yeah. They kind of do, but really, basketball's
we're
what we
going
think
for
about.
hoops here.
Yep.
Mark says start shooting percentage, bench completion percentage, drop the batting average. Robert says start batting average, bench completion percentage, and drop shooting percentage. And I got a couple of others here. Hang on, I got to get back to them because I saw them over here. This is weird. Twitter's doing it weird today in terms of replies. Ryan says on base and slugging are more important than batting average.
Yep.
I agree.
I agree 100%.
But I didn't put those in there.
Well, that's why batting average, I'll tell you now, I'm dropping batting average like Ryan. Ryan nailed it. You can have these other things affect offensive performance.
Ryan says yards per pass and completion means more than percentage, and shooting percentage directly correlates to points regardless of where it is on the court.
Okay. That was good.
But in the meantime, he started shooting percentage, benched completion percentage, and cut batting average.
Makes sense.
So thank you. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with anything he said there.
Yeah,
and I thought about putting OBP, but I didn't. I kept it more simple.
But I liked what you did because, look, when we were young boys, Jay, you and I, and we used to go horseback riding to the baseball diamond.
Right.
Batting average was a thing back when we were young. You looked at a guy's batting average automatically.
Of what Joe DiMaggio did, what Ted Williams did, you know, and even as we were coming along, you know, Lou Brock or certainly, you know, in my more formative years, Boggs and Brett.
Tony Gwynns and all those guys. Absolutely. Batting average was a thing.
Yeah.
But as we got older, you start to say, wait a minute, the game gets affected more by on-base percentage because that's batting average early and walks and hit by pitch. And slugging percentage is a huge thing because extra base hits and home runs matter more than singles.
That's become a thing now. You know, OPS is now really
OPS to me is more important than batting average.
Yeah, so but that's just how baseball has changed.
But I like why you put the batting average in because it has changed so much when we were kids and batting average meant so much. Do you know the Major League Baseball batting average is down to about 240?
Well,
now.
I don't know if, and Jalen, I don't know if you know this either. So I mean, again, we mentioned this popped in my head because, and I'll go over some of these in a little bit. All of this year's statistical leaders in the American and National League. We won't get into every single category, but we'll get into a few of them a little bit later on. Trey Turner again led the National League at 304. Do you know how many other hitters in the National League finished this season above 300? And he was at 304.
Was he it, or was there one other?
Jalen, do you know?
I don't.
Yeah, he was it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's crazy.
That's it. In the entire National League.
Yeah, think about that.
Not one other batter hit over 300.
I know. That's crazy, isn't it? You think about that.
I just, that's remarkable to me. And like I said, I was glad it was in the piece because I was ready to look it up before I did when they said it was the lowest batting average ever to win the National. And y'all, to ever win the National League.
Well, that's where we're at with batting average in baseball.
You know, and again, Aaron Judge, 331. Listen, 331. That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
You know, and
that's actually that's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, especially for a giant slugger to hit 331, which proves that the kind of player and hitter that he is. But you know, Tony Gwynn had the second lowest, and I forget the year now, or this, you know, and he had for years he had the lowest, and I think it was 313. I think it was 87, 88, 89. So I'll go back and double check it. But you know, and there's it's Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the American League lowest was Carl Yastrzemski at 301. I think it's the year he won the Triple Crown.
Either that or the year after, but
it was right around there.
Yeah, but in the peak of his career.
So think about that for a minute. And that's when they raised the mound because pitchers were so dominant in the 60s. They lowered the mound because they wanted the batting averages to come up. Yeah. And now because of spin rates and velocity, pitchers are so far ahead of the hitters. I mean, they're teaching, and you and I have talked about this, and I don't agree with this, but they're teaching hitters now, look, dude, jack a home run over the outfielder's head because we can't put 3 or 4 hits together anymore and have big innings. So forget all that stuff you were taught forever. We just can't deal with these pitchers now. And plus, starters are going 5 innings, 6 innings. Then they all look alike coming out of the bullpen, by the way. They're all throwing 150 miles an hour, right? Yeah. So it's just changed the whole dynamic of how we see it. So I like the fact you put batting average because it goes against everything we were taught, how important it was growing up.
And again, to Ryan's point, there are new metrics now that are probably, you know, seen as better measurements of what's happening game to game. And I don't disagree with him. But anyway, have fun with it. Batting average, completion percentage, shooting percentage.
Isn't it weird to see the batting average in Major League Baseball under 250, the normal batting average under 250. It was always over 250
well,
our
every
whole
once
lives.
in a while, and I know this kind of correlates, but every once in a while on Dan Patrick's show on Peacock, they don't have commercials. Mm-hmm. So during radio commercial breaks, they will either do something like they're yucking it up that day, off camera or whatever, off mic. Or they play old clips. Mm-hmm. And every so often, a few times a year, he will play an interview that he did with Hank Aaron about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's great because Hank Aaron, first off, he says, well, Dan, the other, they're talking about just hitting philosophy and things. And he's like, well, Dan, just the other day I was talking to my good friend Willie, and he pauses like, Willie Mays. And it's just awesome. Right? Just first and foremost that he does it like that. But he goes on to say, Willie, they just sent you and me back to the minors because we didn't strike out enough. And his point was that we weren't swinging hard enough, I guess, or something. And he's like, Dan, I just got to tell you, and I'm paraphrasing now with what Hank said, but he's like, I never felt more embarrassed in my 23 Major League Baseball seasons than when I had to walk back to the dugout because I struck out. And this is a man with immense pride and status to say, I just it hurt him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whereas now, guys are almost like, well,
whatever.
I struck out.
I struck out in 3 pitches. Oh yeah. I mean, look, and they say this today, and this is one of the things, as much as I get the new world of baseball and analytics and all this mess, a strikeout is not just like any other out. I'm sorry. I will never agree with that because you know what every other out does? You put the ball in play.
Yeah, you put the ball in play.
And you force the defense to make a play. To say a strikeout's like every other, I just can't go down that road. And I remember, let's go back to what Hank Aaron said, because you and I were the same level hitter as Hank Aaron. Didn't you feel terrible when you struck out?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't like it.
It was almost like you couldn't put the ball in play, dude.
I did not like it.
You couldn't hit the ball.
I liked
that guy
striking
got you.
guys out. I'll tell you.
As a pitcher, didn't you love that?
That was a lot of.
And did you like watching that guy walk back to the dugout?
Yeah.
Or back to the bench after he struck out?
Yeah.
The strikeout,
especially
to me,
a called strikeout is my favorite thing.
I know. I hated getting called out on strikes. So I mean, to me, we grew up. Striking out was not good because nothing happened. You didn't put the ball in play. You didn't force the defense to do anything. So, yeah, I know where Hank's coming from. When you struck out, you were a little embarrassed that you couldn't at least hit the ball. And now they don't care.
Baseball playoffs have started today. I know a lot of you are probably Yankee or Dodger fans and a few Cub fans out there. One final in the books. Detroit has beaten Cleveland in Cleveland 2-1. What a heck of a finish to the season for both of those clubs, yet they both got in, so that was good. San Diego leads at Wrigley, 1-0 bottom four. Tonight at 6, the Sox are at Yankee Stadium. And tonight at 9, as we mentioned earlier, the Reds at the Dodgers. So Ryan Brewer, Elijah Campbell, and many other Reds fans.
It's weird. You and I don't have a dog in the fight this year. We don't have the Braves and Orioles around?
Are you
going to pick up a team to root for?
Well,
I'd like to see the Reds win a series to make our guys happy.
My wife grew up kind of liking the Cubs because just like a lot of us, we had both WGN and TBS. My number 3 daughter, who is a massive Braves fan, is also a massive Dansby Swanson fan.
Well, then she can root for the Cubs a little bit.
She may be pulling for the Cubs.
There you go.
I got the Brewers.
Okay, Brewers and Phillies, and then who in the?
I wouldn't mind seeing the Brewers win a series.
The Jays and the Mariners.
Jays, Mariners. Yeah, I'd like to see the Mariners make a deep run.
Yeah.
If I have to pick a team, because I lived in Seattle for a couple years, and that was fun to go to that. But that's when Ichiro was there. Fun ballpark to go to. It was a good time. They haven't been in the playoffs since Ichiro.
Well, I love what Cal Raleigh did this year, and I do hope.
Is that the best nickname in baseball? The Big Dumper. How good is that? How good is the Big Dumper?
I hope he wins the MVP award. I have a hunch it's going to be tight, and I get the feeling that Aaron Judge probably, just because he's Aaron Judge and
that'll be part
he's
of
a
it,
New York Yankee.
And trust me, baseball writers vote that way.
I know.
This is not you just being.
I know. I'm not.
That's a sad thing. You're not wrong. And
and it's up to the Jeff Passons and Tim Kirchens of the world to like really lobby, I think, for these guys.
Now, for me, is Judge a better all-around hitter than Cal Raleigh? Yes, he is. He won a batting title. Yes, Judge is better as an all-around hitter. But what does the valuable player award mean?
That's what I'm saying.
That's where I'm going.
And I have this discussion with sports fans a lot. I am a big believer and proponent of the V in MV.
If not, get rid of it, right?
If you want MOP, then
fine.
give me MOP, and I'll be okay.
I am with you 1,000,000,000% on this. You can't 1 year make it about valuable, and the next year go, the best player with the best stats.
And I've said, and I got to wrap it here, but I've said, when I was in high school, Andre Dawson won the National League MVP with the Cubs. They finished last. Yeah. And I'm like, so the value to the Cubs was that they didn't lose 110 games?
Yeah.
Because Andre had a great year? Whereas a few years later, Terry Pendleton, who was not as good a player as Barry Bonds, won the MVP award for the Braves because Terry's year, the Braves don't win the division without Terry having a hell of a year.
So make up your mind.
Yeah. So I'm just, and then ever since then, I have been all about the valuable to what the team did that year. And in my opinion, the Mariners aren't the Mariners without Cal Raleigh having a hell of a year.
I do not disagree.
Whereas Judge could have stepped it down a notch, and the Yankees have a payroll that should allow them to be really good. All right, a lot more Gamecock football to get to. We'll do it on the other side. You're listening to the Postgame Show.
one of my people I did an interview with, they was like, I didn't know you did radio too. So.
It's okay. I just gotta, as long as I got the right button turned off. Quick check on the traffic. We have a couple of accidents. Hardin Street at Highway 555, that's Colonial Drive in Richland. West Columbia, I-77 southbound after the 12th Street exit, that is exit 2. And in Richland, Langford at US 21 Main Street.
All right, welcome back in. Postgame show rolling on here on a Tuesday. Jay, Terry, Jalen with you. 803-404-6100 to be part of the program on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines, or you can text us, Firehouse Subs text line. You can use the Firehouse text line for today's start, bench, drop, batting average, completion percentage, shooting percentage. By the way, and I do want to brag on my football team. Total yards last night, Denver, 512. Cincinnati, 159.
By the way, I think Jake Browning was pressured on 100% of his dropbacks. Every time that poor dude dropped back to pass, I think Randy Gradishar had a sack. I mean, the Cincinnati offensive line's embarrassing.
Well, they went right down. Well, I say right down the field, but they got the opening kick, did the Bengals, and scored a field goal, and that was it.
I know.
And I got to go back and look at the numbers on Surtain covering Chase. But
nice job,
man. Oh,
he did a really nice job.
Not just a nice.
I tell you, he did well last night. That Denver defense is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. And Batonio, Nick is a killer.
Yeah, Patino. Yeah,
Patino. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I lost track of how many times he was in the backfield.
Yeah. Well, they gave him a nice fat contract. So.
Well, you know what? Very rarely do guys deserve the kind of money the guys get to go play kids' games, but when you look at what everybody else is getting paid, Nick deserves it. Nick's good, man.
Shout out to Demetrius Knight for his first interception.
That's first interception.
But my God, you only scored 3 points your first drive, and you punt the ball 8 straight times.
D-Knight had a good night overall. Had a couple of plays that he will want back. He's a rookie, but the pick was a good one.
It was
And
a nice
Denver
play.
was moving right down there, and it was a red zone pick for him. He got into the backfield a couple of times.
Yeah, he led the team in tackles. I'm looking at it right now with 10.
There was one other, though, where he definitely missed an assignment and allowed a Denver guy to break free. But overall, I thought he had a good game, man. But it was, I will say, and this used to, God bless him, rest in peace, my dear friend Tommy Moody. Tommy never liked it when I basically admitted, hey, look, if you were a Gamecock, but now you're a pro, but you're going against my team, I don't care anymore.
No, it's over.
I don't care anymore. Like I want you to do well in other games. Like I told Tommy, like I remember one time, we took the girls a few years ago to see the Brewers when Jackie had left Boston and had gone to Milwaukee. And he's like, well, tell Jackie, pull for Jackie. And I was like,
no,
I'm not.
No.
I'm not gonna. I'm sorry.
Not gonna happen.
And so for D-Knight, I'm glad that he had, that's good. And I had, as long as Denver won, then have a good game. I'm cool with that. But and this goes back for me, like way back. Like you're not a Gamecock anymore.
Right?
You're not. I don't know what I mean. When Christian Walker's playing the Braves, I'm like, dude, I hope you do well against the Mets or the Phillies or the Dodgers or whatever, but I want you to strike out.
Exactly.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not,
with you 100%.
Or if it's like 20-0 Braves, sure, hit a home run.
I will say too, Jay, I think Denver is the best 2-2 football team right now, the offense and defense, and I feel for them very confident beating Philly this weekend.
I like the defense's opportunity in Philadelphia. It's going to be hard because Philly plays such good defense, too, and I think they'll confuse Bo Nix a little bit.
See, that's going to be the problem.
Spread's 4.5. That feels about right. I could see this being a one-score game for sure. Philadelphia is a better football team overall.
Yeah, but look.
But not by a lot.
No, I mean, look, one of the biggest differences, like you look at defense, again with Denver, look at Benito had a sack and a half last night. He had a couple of hits. They were in the backfield pressuring Browning all night.
All night. Felt bad for the kid because they had no answers.
Yeah, the difference is Philadelphia offensively is just ahead of Denver offensively. I mean, Denver's offensive line is good. Philly's a tick better. Jalen Hurts is farther along, obviously, than Bo Nix. You got weapons in Smith and Brown on the outside that Denver doesn't have, and you got that dude in the backfield named Barkley. Look, I'm going to tell you, when Dobbins is healthy, Dobbins is a really good running back. And I love the addition of the kid from, was it South Florida? Harvey?
Yeah.
They're just not quite there. But Denver, I'm going to tell you, the way the AFC is, by the end of the year, Bo Nix gets better. Denver can do some damage by the end of the year.
Nix was good last night. Yeah, Nix was good last night. But Cincinnati's not very good, I think, and I think they kind of know it. I'm not sure exactly what they brought to the table last night. But anyway.
I think it's the game for Zach Taylor.
Yeah, I don't know. That's unfortunate, man, because he's.
Here's the problem.
They've gone to the Super Bowl.
No, the Bengals wait for his contract to run out because they don't want to pay him a buyout because the Brown family's cheap.
Well,
so once Taylor finishes his contract, he will. I think they did to Marvin Lewis. They wait for Marvin Lewis' contract to run out.
Well,
they don't like to pay buyouts.
Yeah, but Zach will get another gig because he's young. And
he got to a Super Bowl.
He's
he's fine. He'll be okay. He'll go somewhere else and be a head coach.
Talking more on the Gamecocks and Jalen, that cut that we mentioned a second ago here, Shane Beamer, and this kind of goes in not only to what Carolina worked on in terms of beating Kentucky, but I think where they still are from their own perspective. Listen to this, and then we'll talk about it.
We talked in our team chapel today before we came over. Pastor Jackson, who does an amazing job, talked about when you have adversity, there's the 3 Ps, and I wrote it down to make sure I could say it in here. There's perspective, and we had great perspective about why we were 2-2 and why we hadn't played better and coached better the last 2 weeks. There's perseverance, and that's what we showed, persevering through the adversity of the last couple weeks. And then there's partnership, and we showed how close this team is and how connected they are, playing well in all 3 phases tonight, making impactful plays on offense, defense, and special teams. So just really, 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 really proud of those guys in there. That's a happy locker room, and it should be. I love coaching this group, and I'm glad they got to experience some success tonight because they deserved it.
I was just looking at last year's schedule and this year's in terms of Carolina, and you mentioned it, Terry, and we'll have some stats on Lenoris and what he was doing last year and where he is and is not right now. I don't know if this team has a 6-game win streak in front of it because you have Louisiana State, Oklahoma, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas A&M as 5 of them, and then you play Coastal and Clemson once your conference slate is done. But I do question, in a good way, if they understand from those things that Shane just said. All right, here's what was wrong. Again, I want to give the proper respect and credit to both Vanderbilt and Missouri. They are good football teams. But you also know that there was a lot that South Carolina simply didn't do that had nothing to do with their opponent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And how much of that you worked on against Kentucky. You saw, again, Kentucky's not very good. We get it. You beat them by 22, though.
And saying not very good is a compliment.
Yeah, but you controlled the game.
Yeah, you did. You did.
You know, the only other points after the first quarter, again, short.
Well, you suffocated them after the second drive.
You figured it out and you locked them down. So how much can you take from that, knowing you have much better football teams, and then make it again about you? That's my theme. I know I keep banging that drum. My theme for these guys right now is you got to be better being you.
Well,
and then let the rest fall.
Doesn't that go back to the point of we were talking about yesterday? It's about you. And if you walk off that field on Saturday knowing that you basically, boat raced somebody that you should have boat raced, how do you feel?
Yeah.
You feel good?
Yeah.
You feel good that, guess what? The week of practice led you into a game and everything worked. So now how do you feel for the next, 10 days or whatever? You feel good now that you practiced, you set a plan, you executed the plan, and you were really good at it. So now to your point of fixing you, how do you fix you? What's the best way to fix you, Jay?
Yeah, feel good about winning. Go win. Yeah, did you win?
Go win and feel good about what you did.
And feel good about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so let's play the game real quick. Let's be half full, guys. What do you say?
Yeah.
Let's be Garnet and Black real quick.
Okay.
All right, let's do that. All right, next up, who you got?
LSU.
All right, LSU is struggling on offense. The one thing that South Carolina's had a problem with this year is stopping the run. LSU can't run the ball to save their life. I mean, you can put no one on the line of scrimmage and LSU can't run the ball. So LSU's offense isn't going to pull away from you in the run game, and Nussmeier hasn't been as good as he was last year. Offense is scuffling. If you're South Carolina, that will help you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, then you got Oklahoma. What if Mateer doesn't play?
Yeah.
Different animal, right?
Or
Who's
even
next
if he
after
does,
that?
he's going to be maybe
Could be
rusty.
limited. Who's next?
Yeah. After Oklahoma is Alabama.
Kalen DeBoer on the road, favored. Bad record.
Hasn't been as good.
Bad record. Again, being glass half full guy. Don't smirk. What's next on the list? What's next on my list?
Alabama looked really good the other night.
Don't ruin my glass half full. Real quick. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Hold that thought. We'll get it to you on the other side.
I'm trying to be optimistic, and you're bringing me down, Jay.
It's the postgame. A lot of folks around here don't realize that one of America's largest brick manufacturers is based right here in South Carolina's capital city. For nearly 90 years, U.S. Brick has been firing local clay in the Midlands, supplying the backbone for homes, schools, commercial projects locally and across the country, even in landmarks like Fort Knox and the Empire State Building. Today, they're a national player with plants not only here in the Midlands, but in Alabama, Tennessee, and Indiana. But they're one of the few that has stayed loyal to the home team. They're American-owned, family-run by Mikey Johnson and his crew, and privately held and backed here by a local team, making bricks longer than many builders have been in business. And yes, they are the kind of folks that'll still pick up the phone. They've got a brand new exterior design center at 300 UG Street down near Founders Park. Get in there, see all the things that U.S. Brick can do to help you kickstart your next project. Work with the great pros at U.S. Brick.
All right, checking the traffic real quick. Couple accidents in Richland, Hardin Street at Colonial Drive and Langford Road at Main Street, US 21. Also, we have construction, I-126 at Hugie and I-26. Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run Road between those exits on I-26 and I-20 and 26 between exit 64 and 65 on Broad River Road. We'll come back, talk some more Gamecocks here on the Postgame Show.
All right, welcome back in. 25 minutes in front of 5 o'clock here on this Tuesday. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford, Jalen Tart. It's the post-game show. Top of the hour headlines coming your way. Plenty more on the Gamecocks throughout the afternoon. Start bench drop today. Batting average, completion percentage, shooting percentage. That's basketball, just to make sure that everybody knows the basketball shooting percentage. I think everybody knows what completion percentage means. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they do.
I
So
think you're
there's
correct.
that, and at least batting average speaks for itself. Unless you're a cricket, I don't know what do they call it batting average in cricket.
I don't know what they call it in
I
cricket.
don't watch cricket, so I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't really done a
I
whole-
honestly wish I knew more about cricket because I watch enough European sport to see like a bunch of soccer guys that I follow or whatever that are also talking about like cricket, and it does sound a lot of times like especially. I don't know, certain situations, very Braves, Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Giants kind of. And I'm like, man, I wish I could get into that. Just to, but maybe.
I'm looking up cricket.
It's all right. By the way,
No, now you got me down a rabbit hole.
speaking of baseball real quick, and I'm dead serious when I say this, the Angels have announced that Ron Washington will not be back as manager next season. This year, he missed most of the year. He had heart surgery, but he says he feels great. Now, he's 74 years old. Listen, Wash, bud, if they don't want you back, Alex Anthopoulos, Atlanta Braves, you call Ron Washington. In fact, I hope they've already called him.
Oh, you'd love to have him back.
Come on
How
back.
many Braves just sang his praises when he was with Atlanta? Yeah,
All
it was unreal.
of them. I mean, not only he's a terrific coach. He's a great clubhouse president. There's a reason that he has managed multiple clubs in Major League Baseball. And he's, look, I even met Ron once. He for a year he managed the old Columbia Mets, man.
Did he really?
Way back in the day. In fact, I never did it. I've told this story before. I had a Ron Washington Minnesota Twins card, and I would keep it in my wallet for a while. I mean, it's all beat up, right? But I was going to get Ron to sign it, and I never did.
Oh, you should have.
I never did.
Ron's a good dude, man.
But anyway, so, hey, again, if he's out in Anaheim, I don't know if he wants to remain out on the coast. I wouldn't blame him, I suppose, as he's now 74. But he says he wanted to come back. So if he still got it, then, hey, Braves, unless somebody else gives him a managerial job, which they may, but if they don't, because listen, I'm not kidding. I think the Braves slide at least has a little bit to do with the departure of
If
Ron
you put
Washington.
Ron back in as a bench coach for Snit, to put Ron back there to help with what you do on and off the field, that's nothing but a positive.
Yeah.
I was reading an article in The Athletic a month ago now, maybe 6 weeks, where he was talking about, I feel good, I feel better now. Best thing I did was get this done. Now, this was great. Now I'm healthy. I want to come back. Here's what the Angels were saying.
Yeah.
That's never a good sign.
Well, the Angels.
And the Angels are the Angels, right?
Yeah, they don't know what they're
By
doing.
the way, there are runs in cricket, sir. Total number of runs scored by a batsman.
Yeah, I knew batsman. I shouldn't know if they call it, excuse me, like batting average.
You know what the pitcher's called? A bowler.
Bowler.
Mm-hmm. Batting average is runs scored divided by the number of times a batsman was dismissed. So you're dismissed in cricket. You're not out.
Okay, right.
Because you know what? They have manners.
Yeah, but they do have innings.
Yeah, they do?
Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities.
I never knew he was a bowler until right now. Did you know that?
Bowler. Yeah, I knew bowler. And there's a couple of, and like, the thing is, like, one cricket match can actually last for like a couple of days.
Days, yeah.
Which is, I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
And like, at what point do you just say, hey, we're going home tonight? We'll be back.
Honey, I can't come home while we're still playing.
We'll be back. It's not like here, though, you know, like what was the crazy game, like the Red Sox and Orioles, right?
Yeah, minor league game.
20-something innings.
Yeah, Cal Ripken Jr. Blake Boggs, I think, played in that game, too, and so did Cal Ripken Jr.
Rochester and Pawtucket.
Yep.
But anyway, I guess I think at some point there, again, because it's an English sport by origin, they're just like, all right, then we'll go home, lads, and we'll be back in the morning.
See you tomorrow. Oh, would you just want to spend the night?
Yeah. No, they don't. No. They wouldn't even. That's not even a topic, right? It's like we've got to get home.
It's getting dark.
We'll be back in the morning.
How cold?
Yeah. They don't have lights.
Hello, love.
Right? I'm sure they do now, but like back in the day, it was like, oh, we've got to go.
Light some torches. Let's roll, man.
I don't know how that works.
Come on now.
Anyway, all right. Let's get one more here from Coach Beamer before we move on. Number 12, Jalen. Again, big night for Carolina turnovers, and they're really winning that one. That's another one. I mean, again, thinking of Tommy Moody, win the turnover battle. But here's Shane on why that matters.
Clayton told him last night at the hotel that, we've won the turnover battle last week 1-0, but we don't want to just get one and win it. We want to dominate it, and that's what happened tonight. Had a lot of feel from like that Oklahoma game last year, but we needed that. Certainly, I'm not dumb. We've been struggling a little bit offensively to score points and move the ball, and when you can score twice on defense and then score on special teams like we have been able to, that makes you a tough team to beat. And Clayton always says that those turnovers, they come in bunches, and we got one tonight and then we got another one, and it was really cool to see that happen and knock the ball out as many times as we did.
Did we decide it was 7 supplemental touchdowns, right?
Yes.
4 on defense and 3 on special teams?
All right, the defense, you got 2, 3. It's only
6.
Is it 6? Yeah, 3 on defense, 3 on special teams.
6. Still, that's a lot of supplemental touchdowns.
That's a lot. What's wrong with Vakari Swain? We need to talk. What's up, dude?
Well, Shane was kind of disappointed in him the other night because on that again the one that was just bombed down there. I think he was mad that Vakari decided to fair catch it because he was like, I think that could have been returned.
Yeah. Well, Vakari try to do that one return and got slobber knocked.
Yeah. So, but in all seriousness, the defensive part, and like we say, I'm not trying to rain on the parade. But we know Kentucky's not very good.
No.
But you did dominate them.
That's what you're supposed to do.
So the point I make here is twofold in the sense that you did fix a lot of you because look, I don't care if you're playing a high school team, if you're committing a bunch of dumb penalties, you're still committing a bunch of dumb penalties. But you didn't do that.
Yeah.
So, keep that part of it up.
Yeah.
But in terms of forcing turnovers and putting teams in uncomfortable positions, I take that confidence that you have, and maybe you don't get 4 turnovers and return 2 of them for scores in Baton Rouge next week. But if you do keep Nussmeier uncomfortable, remember, y'all, we kept saying this a couple weeks ago, and we'll preview a lot more of the LSU game next week, obviously, so I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But just as we start thinking about what's next and what Carolina's working on, remember, Florida, DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions in Baton Rouge at night, and LSU still only scored 20 points.
LSU was scuffled on offense all year. Scuffled on offense the entire season. I mean, that passing game was supposed to carry them, has not been as good. Nussmeier struggled. They can't run the ball. Remember, they replaced 4 offensive linemen from last year. 2 were drafted in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft. LSU's offense, as good as that defense has been, the offense has been. How weird is it to say this out loud? The offense is the issue in Baton Rouge.
It is because of what's happening the last few years, no question. There's an ironic sense there. But that's for Carolina. And look at what LSU did the other day in Oxford. They weren't impressive offensively. Again, they can play defense, and I think this is I don't know what the over-under is going to be yet, but you might want to take the under.
I feel it's an under. I feel
You
we got
know,
an under coming.
I got a hunch this is an under in the low 40s.
Yeah,
but in all seriousness, for a second, like again, there's reason for positivity.
Sure.
In terms of what LSU isn't doing, if your defense continues to be that active.
If your defense,
again, you don't have to win a 4-0 turnover.
No.
But you need to be that active.
Right. And look, LSU's not going to pound you in the run game like Vandy or Missouri or Kentucky tried to do, and then you showed you could stop it against Kentucky. If you can play good, fundamentally sound defense, maybe force a turnover, and Linares can give you some magic, you got a chance to walk out of there with a double.
You want to be hanging around because when you're hanging around, they're thinking about it, you're thinking about it.
And then all of a sudden, this 16 guy can make 10 or 12 guys miss, and who knows what happens.
And that place, which is raucous at night, might be a little quieter.
Yeah, a little bit.
So that could help too. All right, we'll come back on the other side. A little J or nay. We'll update you on start, bench, drop. It's the postgame show. All right, welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you here on the postgame show. Again, coming up top of the hour, headlines of the day. Baseball playoffs are underway. I mentioned earlier, because I'm supposed to pay off the tees, that I would get into some of the statistical leaders, but I haven't gotten there yet because we've been talking more football.
Yeah.
I blame Ryan Brewer.
I do too. He's not here. I blame him.
Well, if we had talked about baseball while he was here.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm glad that we got the degrees back down in here, because if it would have continued at 80 degrees, he might have killed us.
That, or either he and I were going to pass out, and you and Jalen are doing the show while Ryan and I are being revived.
I won't lie to you. I was going to.
Me and Terry, I don't mind.
Well, I don't know. It might have been you, Jalen, because I was getting a little lightheaded over there at 80-some degrees.
I don't care.
Yeah, but for those who missed the beginning of the show, when we walked in here, it was and when I say a balmy 80 degrees, it was apparently Gunner, like, not only turned off the air, but he turned on the heat.
Yeah, it was bad, man.
But it was 80 degrees.
You never hear me complain about. I walked in here going, "What the hell?"
It was
bad, man.
And again, I'm not Mr. Universe, I promise, but I get on my treadmill at the house usually around 1:30, 1:45, and then I'll take a quick shower, and then I get over here. So I come in and people are like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good. I just haven't found a better place in my day to do it. I want to get all of my show prep done, and then I get on the treadmill. So I came in here. I usually come in still warm, but I wasn't prepared for that.
No,
it was, I was like, and the thing is, outside it is 74. We don't need the heat on 80.
It shouldn't be hotter in here than it is outside.
We don't need the heat on 80.
Not at all.
No. So anyway, but we're all good now.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're all good. All right. Do we have game show music?
Here, let me explain my game show music. I was, with the assistance of my good friend Chris Logan,
I know him,
in the production studio, putting a bunch of game show music in. We have like 5 or 6 new cuts of game show music.
Sweet.
We just haven't finished putting it in yet. Starting tomorrow, we will have a lot of good game show music.
All right.
We have none on there, Jalen, because they took it all off.
I was just about to ask, but I got you though.
Well, you know what?
Well,
play the one that says wild card.
Hit wild card, just so we can have something.
Do that. And we'll play the
and turn up all the hotkeys till you get one. I like. It's better than nothing. We'll go with
still
it.
music.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, Jay or nay? We're going to go to the NFL games from last night. Tua Tagovailoa, way back in the day, was drafted 5th overall the year Joe Burrow was taken first.
Yep.
A guy named Jordan Love, a quarterback from Utah State, was taken 26th by the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
If you redrafted that draft today, would you take Jordan? Would you take Jordan Love over Tua Tagovailoa, Jay or nay?
Knowing what we know now, the answer would be Jay. But that's a toughie because there was every reason to believe in Tua coming out of Alabama.
Yep.
Again, knowing what we know, Jay, but if you stop and think about it for a minute, I don't think that was the wrong pick.
I don't either. But whenever I put this in for a reason, because if you redraft knowing things, obviously you're taking Jordan Love higher and Tua's going to fall because of what's happened to Tua. But when Tua was coming out, Tua taking the top 10 made perfect sense by everybody. Yeah. It just did. Yeah. And part of the thing has been concussions, and he's with a joke of an organization.
He plays for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly. Okay. Here we go.
By the way, those uniforms, not good.
I wasn't down with those either.
Sorry.
All right, last night you saw it. The Denver Broncos destroyed the Bengals, and part of it was the Bengals' offensive line was a hot mess. In the NFL, the Bengals' offensive line is 32nd in pass block win rate, which means they get whooped at the line of scrimmage when they're trying to protect their quarterback. 26th in pass block grade from Pro Football Focus. Let me translate that. They suck.
They're not good.
Knowing you have Joe Burrow as your franchise quarterback, and your offensive line is that bad, and one of the reasons why Burrow is hurt again is your offensive line is that bad, should the entire Bengal front office be fired and forced never to be able to play, never be able to be in football ever again, Jay or nay?
Sure, Jay. Yeah. Like
Banned.
They know they do have to understand what they've got and do more with it. I just don't know if they can. When I say that they can, I just think that organization too it's not very good.
Look what Joe Burrow and the wide receivers and Trey Hendrickson have done. And when Joe Mixon was there, too.
Yeah, Mixon helped.
They lifted all of that mess.
That was the rising
to
tide
get to a
lifts
Super
all
Bowl.
boat. Yeah, now you see. But that.
It's insane.
Again, if I'm Joe Burrow's agent, I'm working on my exit
Get me the hell out of here.
I really am.
All right, final J or nay. You look at the Denver Broncos. Defensively, one of the best units in the game.
Yep.
Got some good weapons on the outside, led by Cortland Sutton at wide receiver. Yep. And I like some of their younger wide receivers as well.
Mims was good.
Running back wise, again, when J.K. Dobbins is healthy, J.K. Dobbins is good. Harvey brings him a nice speed element with the changeup. Offensive line is top 10 in football.
Right.
Bo Nix. Throws of over 10 yards is hitting 35% of his passes over 10 yards for the season. That obviously has to get better. He was good last night, to his credit. Are the Denver Broncos an improved Bo Nix away from competing for a Super Bowl this year, Jay or nay?
Jay, especially in the AFC, because the defense is outstanding, and the defense will give what is not yet an elite offense more opportunity, a la, say, the Baltimore Ravens of 20 years ago, where, that Dilfer offense was okay, but they got the ball a lot. And you know what? More times you get the ball, more times you get
that defense.
To score.
The Bronco defense this year is a Super Bowl defense.
Yeah, Denver's pretty good. All right, hour 3 coming up.
Move this microphone here. Let's get to traffic. A couple accidents in Columbia, Corley Mill Road at US 378 and Sunset Boulevard. In Lexington, Longs Pond Road at I-20. And a new accident just posted, Piney Grove Road at Fernandina Road in Columbia as well. Coming up, 5 o'clock news from Integrated Media on the Postgame Show.
It is 5 o'clock news time here on a Tuesday. Welcome back in. Also, the final hour of the post-game show alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Jalen Tart is at Master Control. Gamecocks off this week. No Shane Beamer press conference, but we have been continuing to discuss Carolina's 35-13 victory over Kentucky last Saturday night. And Jalen, if you would please, sir, get cut number 23 on yesterday's list ready to go, because I want to come back around to this one. Again, we had Ryan Brewer in the house earlier with us today, and just how Carolina can take what they did well against Kentucky and begin to apply it to continuing to self-assess. Here's Shane Beamer from postgame, 23. Here's Shane Beamer on how he sees improvement.
Yeah, just keep getting better. I mean, that's why I love this team so much. I walked in the weight room on Monday's our guys' off day, and I walked in the weight room about midday, and Trovon was in the weight room by himself just doing some extra work on his day off. And before I could even say anything to him, he looked at me and he said, "It's a new week. We're going to beat the heck out of Kentucky, and then we're going to go into this off week and get even better." And that was the way that we prepared during the week, the way we practiced during the week, the mentality coming in here. And that's what we've got to continue to be able to do. We've got a lot of work to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot that we'll see from this tape to correct. But to win an SEC game against a really good team by, 22 points and make the plays that we did on defense and offensively continuing to see good stuff, it's a lot to build on. Got a lot of work to do. And we know the month of October doesn't get any easier. But we're, 3-2 coming out of September. We, certainly hoped and expected to be 5-0 in a lot of ways, and we're not. But we're 3-2 and got an off week to get healthy and get better and keep working. But like like the start tonight, we talked about, we got Kentucky, and then everything's in front of us, October, November, and beyond. And tonight was a really good start, and certainly a game that we, let's be real, had to have in so many ways.
And they did indeed take that one home. So the first conference win, Carolina 1-2 in the SEC, 3-2 overall at LSU next Saturday night. And if you missed it yesterday, it will be a night game. It will kick somewhere in the 7 o'clock hour. So we're not sure yet, but somewhere between 7 and 8. So just plan accordingly.
7:01, 7:59.
Who knows? Somewhere in between 7.
That's Eastern, right?
Eastern time.
You sure?
Eastern.
It's 7 o'clock hour Eastern.
Eastern time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Elijah's wrong about the Central time zone.
Oh, my Lord.
We used to have that discussion. There actually is a lot about the Central time zone from a sports perspective that is good in terms of games.
I tell you what's weird
earlier.
is living in Mountain Time.
Yeah.
Because you're 2 hours back for some stuff, and some stuff is not 2 hours back, but runs like where Eastern time would be. It's very weird. But Mountain Time's not a bad little jam for sports. You get 2 hours.
Again, half the population lives in the Eastern time zone.
5 people live in the Mountain Time zone.
Right. Now what? Denver, Boise, and Albuquerque.
The Mountain Time zone is so weird.
And with all due respect, Boise and Albuquerque not really that big.
No.
Denver is.
Denver's gigantic. It really should be the Denver time zone.
Yeah,
it really should be, to be quite honest with you, man.
Denver's it's probably not Atlanta big, but it's pretty
Denver's
close.
big. It's a top 20 market big.
Pretty
Denver's
close.
big town, man.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Anyway, we'll have more. Terry has done tons of research. So
Way too
basically,
much.
today's Gamecock Notebook will be very Terry Ford focused on Lenora Sellers statistics.
Yes, the
So that is-
usage and yardage that Lenore Sellers brings to the table when things are going right.
So that is coming up in about 10 minutes' time. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, I don't know if this is good or bad, but as and I'm not going to try to get into too many details here, but there's yet another bill that has been introduced in Congress. This happened yesterday in an effort, and I'm being a smartass now, to save college sports. This one is it's not challenging the SCORE Act, which is one you've seen commercials for. SEC is paying a lot of money to run ads in support of the SCORE Act. That's all capital letters. It means like saving college something. I don't know what the hell it means. I really don't even care anymore. But yesterday, some senators introduced the SAFE Act, the Student Athlete Fairness Enforcement Act.
Oh, God.
This one will allow schools and conferences to pool their media rights. SCORE Act is doing some of that. They believe that will help fund rising costs, because the belief is that if basically, and it wouldn't necessarily be the NCAA, but that if the NCAA, like it can with the basketball tournament, could go in and go, hey, television partners, all of us now are under one big umbrella, like the NFL or Major League Baseball, and that would make more money for everybody, including virtually at least guaranteeing that the Big Ten and the SEC will still get their lion's share.
Well, that's the only way it works.
Yeah.
Because, all right, I mean, look, the NFL model is the model, right? I mean,
but
let's face it, it really is the model. But let's push that aside real quick. Let's go to the base. I think baseball and college athletics is closer together because there are no caps. The big dogs eat. The little dogs do what they can to keep up, right?
Right.
So if you want college athletics to change and go more toward an NFL model where you're under one big umbrella, look, for example, if you're the SEC, I'll be the SEC. Bleep you because we got a big advantage. Why am I giving up my big advantage unless you're going to guarantee me I'm still going to get more of this pie than
let's
the
face
ACC?
It, the Big Ten's making more than the SEC.
Exactly. So if you're the Big Ten and the SEC, what is your motivation to fall for any of this stuff unless you're still going to get yours?
Yeah,
right?
and this bill apparently pushes back on some of that part of it. That some believe that this will allow the Big Ten and SEC to continue to dominate. Look, I know this is a news segment, so we'll be careful here. I'm going to read directly from Ralph Russo's piece in The Athletic. Now, this, again, is not the one that was introduced. This is the one they're sort of competing with. The SCORE Act. Again, yesterday, the SAFE Act was introduced. This is the SCORE Act, which has been moving through committee at least, would codify and bolster a new revenue-sharing system that was agreed upon by the NCAA and the power conferences as part of the $2.8 billion House settlement. For the first time, schools are now permitted to pay athletes. You know all that. Revisions to language in the bill were made to address concerns last week that would give more voting power to Power 4 conferences and could lead to smaller schools being pushed out of Division I. Yesterday, a bunch of mid-major conferences came out in support of it. And
Sure they would.
it says, with those conferences fully on board, all 32 Division I leagues seem unified behind the bill. Now, again, the SCORE Act, the one that's already been in Congress for a few months, would also allow for some antitrust exemptions.
Sure, why not?
And, you know, that I still believe gets really problematic.
Yeah, can I ask you a question really quick? What's the name of this thing again? The
SCORE.
Okay, what's the other one?
SAFE.
Okay, and what do the acronyms stand for?
I can't remember. Honest to God, man, I'm sorry. I can't remember what the SCORE.
Okay, what's the SAFE? I'm not worried about SCORE. Give me SAFE again.
Is the hang on, the Student Athlete Fairness Enforcement.
And everything you told me after this, at what point was this supposed to help the student athlete?
Yeah.
Where in there is about anything about the student athlete? Help me, Jay.
Yeah.
You know it's buried in there somewhere, right? Probably.
This helps the athletic departments, and they say it helps the student athletes. And look, I'm not here. I want. our federal government is not ever going to fund Olympic training the way a lot of national governments do, and that's fine. And American colleges are obviously doing really well with Olympic sports training, and America is very good at a lot of Olympic sports, and I want all those. And as a father of 4 daughters, I want girls to have their opportunities. But at the same time, I also understand that Ohio State and Alabama and Texas and Michigan are always going to be more popular on television than Cincinnati or Georgia Southern,
Miami of Ohio.
I mean, and that's not being mean.
It's being truthful and
and
living in reality,
and it's factual across generations.
Right. Look,
I want schools to be successful. I always get pushback from smaller school people when I say, like, we don't need FCS teams on Power 4 schedules. I don't do it to be a jerk. I got tons of friends that went to Wofford or Citadel or Furman or Elon or wherever, man. I love those people. But you shouldn't be playing SEC teams. And the reason is it's not good for the sport. It's good for your bottom line. Come in the spring. Anyway, I could go off on tangents here, but
going back to this thing for a minute, this is what bugs me about it all. All right, look, you are finding any way possible. If you're, let's just cut to the chase. You're doing everything you can, and we're talking about the schools now. And college athletics to get back to what you had that you don't have anymore.
Right.
And that's what you're trying to. I can give acronyms all day long. I got one. It's called bull bleep. And that's what all this is. All you're trying to do is grab control again because you've lost control. You're not trying to help student athletes. You want to push them back down so you can get all the money that you're giving up.
Yes.
These are businesses, dude. You know it and I know it. And what I am fearful of is these Olympic sports and these athletes who kill themselves that we don't have 75,000 people coming to see play are going to get screwed.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because God knows these universities, because their businesses aren't going to lose money. They're going to make other people pay for it. And you know it and I know.
Well, there has to be a better, but quite honestly, and now, again, I'm not getting political from one side or another, but we're about to have a government shutdown, and we got to have Congress worry about this. I mean, again, hey, schools, fix yourself.
Oh, well, that's you and I have been yelling about this since we've been together. Stop going to Congress and government to fix your problem. Fix your own problem and face your problems, and actually quit being hypocrites and greedy and sit down and do what's good for your sports for once instead of what's good for yourselves.
But we'll see where this and quite well anyway. I'll have another time. I got other things to get to.
Move on.
But let's
go. You're right. You and I could do this.
Major League Baseball playoffs have gotten underway today. Again, the Phillies, Brewers, Mariners, and Blue Jays are moving on to the next round, so they are not in action. Already one game in the books. Tigers have won in Cleveland 2-1. As we speak, Cubs 2-1 over the Padres, bottom 8 at Wrigley. Tonight at 6, the Red Sox are in the Bronx. And tonight at 9, it's the Reds taking on the Dodgers out in L.A.
Yeah, I don't even try to pick this anymore because it's such a crapshoot, the postseason baseball anymore.
Yeah.
The way it is. And you and I talk about this. It's become this way because you've taken away dominant starting pitching.
Yeah.
And now bullpens are such a crapshoot. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who's going to win what. I feel like the Phillies are set in the right direction.
I do too, and that makes me.
I know it makes you sick to your stomach. I don't know the American League, man.
I'm almost to a point now. Again, this is just truly me, the smart aleck fan. Now, anybody but Philadelphia is fine.
Thank you.
The American League.
But the Phillies are really good, man.
The Phillies are really good, unfortunately. I mean, now in the American League, I think the Yankee Red Sox winner. I don't know if I can buy into the Guardians. I'd love to see the Mariners.
I will pull for Seattle.
I'm going to root for Seattle. But I just have a feeling they're going to fall short.
And I do think Dave Roberts really gets his team ready to go. So there's a lot of reasons to like
I think if you want to get the Dodgers, get them early.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. Remember the Padres got them that 1 year? You got to get them early till they start gaining momentum.
But the Dodgers are playing now, and they won 93 games. Tells you how good the Dodgers are. And how good the Brewers and Phillies have been.
Tell you what, man, it's the Dodgers, remember this.
I don't believe in the Brewers.
I think you know what they are really quick. In baseball, you have teams that are built for the regular season, teams that are built for the postseason. I think the Brewers are a fabulous regular season team.
I agree.
I just think in the playoffs, they just don't, they're not built for it.
All right, that's our integrated media headlines of the day. Got a couple of you on the phone line. Sit tight. We'll get to you, and we'll come back on the other side as well with the Gamecock Notebook. Terry has done a deep dive into Lenoris Sellers, what he is and isn't doing for the Gamecocks relative to last season. And what did Terry learn? You'll find out when the postgame show returns.
Time to check the traffic. A few accidents. In Columbia, Wood Trail Drive between Meadowfield Road and Woodcrest Lane, accident there. Piney Grove Road at Fernandina Road. In Lexington, Long Ponds Road at I-20, and back in Columbia, Corley Mill Road near Sunset Boulevard.
19 minutes after 5 o'clock here on a Tuesday afternoon. Jay and Terry with you. Jalen at Master Control. Appreciate you being with us. 803-404-6100 on the AAA phone lines. Justin wants to weigh in on a couple of things. And before we get to Terry's Gamecock Notebook, Justin, how you doing, bud?
What's up, man?
How you doing, guys?
Good, buddy.
You doing okay, guys?
Yeah.
Doing all right. Good hearing from you, pal.
You too. Hey, guys, happy we beat Kentucky, but we got the offensive line. It's getting better, but that's all we can do right now. We can't do it anymore, but we just have to see how it plays out. Also, glad Alabama beat Georgia, and I think Coach Smart, Alabama has Georgia Nova. What y'all thoughts about, do you think Canada will outplay Coach Smart?
Well, Kirby certainly has a Bama problem, Justin. Thank you for the phone call. 1-7. Now, they won a national championship, so that's a biggie.
You like that one. Yeah.
But it is, because I don't know that last year, and this is just my opinion, I don't know that last year or this year these two Georgia teams are worse than Alabama. Because sometimes in sports you get beat. Mm-hmm. I remember last year's game was kind of the same MO. Now, it was different because remember last year in Tuscaloosa, Bama jumped way out on them, and then Georgia came roaring back and took a lead, and then Ryan Williams made a big play late, and they won the game. And this year, same thing. They were down 2 scores. Georgia locks down on defense. Bama didn't score in the second half.
No. They held on for dear life, man.
But again, Georgia just couldn't get it done.
It's so weird because you look at Kirby's record against everybody else. And 1-7 against Bama. And look, look, you and I have talked to enough coaches in our lives. These guys are always tunnel vision, can't think about the past. I'm sorry, dude. When you're 1-7 against somebody,
it's in your head.
You tell me you're not sitting down. By
that's
yourself.
how Carolina. I think that's how people around here feel about Eli Drinkwitz. It's like, what the hell? Like, I mean, I'm telling you, and all the times that Eli has played Carolina, again, my opinion, so somebody can push back if they want to. But I believe only one time, perhaps, could you even say that Missouri had an equally talented or more talented team?
I would say 2 years ago with Bird and those guys in Columbia, Missouri, a couple years ago, they were better.
That was probably
They were better.
That was it.
But the last 2 years are not.
But the App State team was not more talented.
Oh, God, no.
And I don't know that this year's Missouri team is more talented. Again, I'm not saying they're bad because they're very. He's
good.
He's a great coach.
Yeah, I mean
he's getting a lot.
Say what you want. He's doing a hell of a job.
But yeah, Justin, in terms of Carolina's O-line, listen, again, injuries have been an issue this year, but they did get better last week, and we talked with Ryan Brewer about some of the things that they can do this week to help each other, where the offensive linemen can help the running backs, where the running backs can help the offensive linemen, and can you how you and he said it's hard to replicate those things. But, if you can work on some techniques here and there, and there's certainly room for growth.
They have pass protected better than you think this year, but the run blocking has been a real problem. I mean, even last Saturday, it did get better through the game, but a lot of the run yards you got was Lenore Sellers doing Lenore Sellers things.
Which, again, I'm okay with. Ray is up next on the phone lines. Hey, Ray.
Ray, what's up?
Hey, Jay, Terry, how's it going, guys?
Doing well, bud.
All right, bud. How about you?
All right, good. Doing fine. Yeah, glad the Gamecocks got the win. And, guys, I tell you, I've called in earlier this week, and, hell, it's only Tuesday, so I guess yesterday. and the thing is, what's amazing, it's like the defense had decided after those first 2 drives, Jay, it's like they thought, damn, what we've been doing the last 10 quarters just ain't working. So they put more pressure. They came with more pressure. They set the edge. The defense, I really feel good about our defense right now. But our offense still needs some work, because I was trying to think, when's the last time we had 400 yards in an offensive game? I think you have to go back to last year. But I also want to touch on what you're talking about earlier. I hope Congress never takes this up, guys. I mean, it's the free market now. I mean, the NIL, these players getting paid, you're in the SEC. I mean, it's kind of like capitalism, at state-funded schools. I mean, you better be able to come up with the money like other schools can. I don't want my Congress taking this up. There's too many other things they got to worry about. And then what would they really do? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm sorry. Jay, I would say.
Go ahead.
No, it was college students. Okay, it's college students playing the game, but it's not amateur athletes.
No, it's not, and that's why I think. And thanks for the phone call as always,
Ray.
man. Ray,
appreciate you.
Good stuff. Again, and I don't want to go too far with it because I want Terry to have his time here. So I'll just say this. I understand why there is trepidation from colleges on making athletes employees. Again, I get it. But if someone who works at the ticket booth on game day is an employee of the school, if someone who is an RA or a TA or works in the bookstore or in the cafeteria is an employee, then you can't tell me, well, but athletes shouldn't be when they're generating the kind of revenue they are, especially at big schools. And I don't look, again, if this sounds mean, so be it. But for a school like Charlotte, UNC Charlotte, why do you want to be Division I? So you can get some checks at homecoming. What benefit are you providing Division I athletics? Why should the University of North Carolina bend over backwards for Charlotte? And that, or again, Florida for FIU. And again, that sounds harsh, and it's not my intent to sound harsh, but to Ray's point, and what we mentioned earlier, this is a free market. People don't want to watch Charlotte on television when it comes to football. They want to watch North Carolina.
They don't want to watch the Panthers either. But anyway.
And believe me, the NFL does the best it can to just put the Panthers on in the 100-mile radius.
Well, again, to the point of all this, and you're exactly right, and so is Ray, there's a way you fix all this. It's called collectively bargain.
Yeah.
And they won't do it. They're doing anything to stay away from it. And to your point, until you collectively bargain, all of this is a mess.
And at least I'd love to just see somebody put something together.
Yeah.
And let's see what that looks like.
And to your point really quick about the employees, I saw a really interesting perspective on this, because, again, I'm not smart enough to think of this. How actors deal with stuff. Like, they have unions, but they're also independent contractors. There's a way to do this if you want to, but
there are models
they don't
out
want
there.
to. There are models to do this.
There are.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, we'll see where it goes next. Maybe this one, like the other one, doesn't get out of committee.
We'll
so whatever. All right. The Gamecock Notebook time here, and you got some deep dives on Lenore.
Real quick, I went through this today because, the point was South Carolina, and to Ray's point, in that 6-game win streak, South Carolina broke 400 total yards in 5 of those games. Because Ray asked when's the last time they broke 400 total yards. Well, 5 times in the 6-game win streak last year. The thing about the 6-game win streak last year, the offense was cooking. You were scoring points, total yards, all these things. So I was like, Lenore Sellers, what was he doing in those games? And I couldn't think of a better way to say it. So I took passing attempts and rushing attempts. I took out sacks. And I call that usage. So what was Lenore Sellers' usage in those games, and what was his percentage of the team's total yards that he generated through throwing and running? Clemson, Wofford, Missouri, Vandy, Oklahoma, Texas A&M. Lenore Sellers' usage rate was 60%. Basically, his throws and his runs were 60% of South Carolina's total plays. 60%. And he was basically churning up 70% of their total yards in that 6-game win streak. 71%, I'm sorry. You go to this year, only 52% usage rate compared to 60% last year.
Okay, so well over a 10% drop.
Which is not good, especially because you don't have Rocket Sanders. I'll get to that in a second. But here's what's interesting. You're gaining less total yards this year. You're scoring less points. His usage rate is down. And he's still accumulating about the same amount of total yards by percentage. What that tells you is, again, it goes back, there's no Rocket Sanders to help out.
Yeah.
You don't have that other person on this football team to be able to help you. So your total yards are down, even though your percentage is still there. Nobody else is pulling what Rocket Sanders did. That's number one. So it also tells you, guess whose usage rate should be even higher this year than last year because you don't have Rocket?
Lenore's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whenever you see, if you want to do this yourself, look for a usage rate of at least 60% for Lenore Sanders when you add up total throws and total runs and take out sacks. And he should have 70% of your total yards for this offense to really be working as efficiently as it could be.
So
Make sense?
Yeah, it does. Will they be working on that in the off week and as they prep for LSU and beyond, or do you try and bring those running backs along and is that why another reason Fuller's in to find
I would try
a
Fuller.
mix?
I don't think you give up on things, but you also have to be realistic about who you are, Jay. Like, I look in the mirror. There's no Brad Pitt there.
Yeah, I get it.
You got to understand your playmaker. You look at that 6-game win streak last year.
Yeah.
That dude was a dude.
Yeah.
You got to let your dude be a dude. And you can try to incorporate other people, but your guy has got to be be used that much, and he's got to be your playmaker. You got to run that offense through him. He's got to throw it. He's got to run it. It's just the reality where you're at right now. Name me the other guy on this offense right now that truly scares you on a down-to-down basis besides Lenore Sellers.
Yeah, I mean, you want it to be Harbor, but it's not.
You'd love for it to be Harbor.
Yeah,
he's getting better. He's not there
but
yet.
it's not. It's not.
So there you go.
Yeah. All right, that's our Gamecock Notebook. Drive around the SEC on the other side. I have a question that I'll ask everybody to think about when we come back when it comes to SEC football.
No, I have a question for you just for the hell of it.
All right, thanks.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
do
here
that on
for
the
you.
other side. It's the postgame show. Guys, not feeling like yourself as you get a little bit older. You're wondering why. Like, I'm not sure this is the way things are supposed to be. Don't wait for it to change. Don't wait for it to go away. Instead, see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. You will sit down and get a one-on-one consultation that gets to the root of the issues, get you back to feeling like yourself. They'll get to know you, what you go through every day. No one size fits all. No magic pills. That's just not what they do at the Men's Clinic. Then again, I tell you a lot. Some of this can be embarrassing, and they understand that. And some guys want to tough it out or say, "Yeah, my dad never went to the doctor. Why should I?" Well, don't be that guy. Get to feeling better when you see Dan and his team at the Men's Clinic. They're experts in healthcare for men, dedicated to making you feel like yourself again, whatever those things might be. 803-875-MENS. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Go see the Men's Clinic.
Few accidents to get to. Corley Mill Road near Sunset Boulevard. Also Longs Pond Road in Lexington at I-20. Piney Grove Road at Fernandina Road. I love saying that one. And Highway 701. I'm sorry, that's not it. Wood Trail Drive at Meadowfield Road, Woodcrest Lane, and Sharps Hill Road. An accident there as well. We'll come back, drive around the SEC with the doctor of the SEC, Jay Phillips. That's happening here next on the post-game show here on the game.
All right, welcome back in. It is Drive Around the SEC time. Jay and Terry with you. Jalen at Master Control. Also have a start bench drop today. Batting average, completion percentage, shooting percentage.
You know yours yet?
Start bench drop does. I think I do. I'm not 100% yet.
I'm having a tough time with start and bench.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah. Because I think I know my drop.
Same here.
Yeah, but I could probably be swayed if anybody wants to. And we'll read a few more here in just a minute. I want to ask this question so everybody can ponder it. Then I'm going to toss it back to Terry for one final thought on Lenoris that we didn't get to. My question in the drive around the SEC, is it problematic for the Southeastern Conference that at least so say some folks, that every other Power Four conference has a, quote, easier path to the college football playoff?
Is it fair?
Is it problematic?
Problematic of the SEC?
Yeah. Is it so? Just chew on that.
I'll chew on it.
Just chew on
Let me
that.
think
Again,
about it.
is it problematic? Because the reason I ask is because this morning I was reading about how a lot of folks, I feel like it's going to come down to if Bobby Petrino does well, it's going to come down to him or Rhett Lashley coming back.
I won't disagree with that.
And like so many things I've seen, even with people talking about Shane Beamer going to Virginia Tech, well, the path to the playoff is easier.
Well, the path to the playoffs is easier at SMU than Arkansas.
Okay, and that's so there again, is that problematic? That's an
interesting. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Anyway, you got one more on
let me get this.
Lenoris.
When we talked about when I said Lenore Sellers, 71% of the offense in that 6-game win streak was generated by Lenore Sellers last year. This year, he's generating a tick more of the total offense. You're going, well, Tara, that's good, right? Well, it's good to a point, but you're not getting as many big plays, especially Lenoris in the run game this year. And that's the big difference, right? I mean, this offense has been way too reliant on big plays all year, but you're not getting Lenoris consistently giving you big plays or giving you a lot of positive plays like he did last year because, again, defenses are trying to stop him. And why are they trying to stop him, Jay?
Because he's really good.
And there's no Rocket Sanders.
Right.
Like, if you stop Lenoris, you're not, and this, I'm not trying to be mean. Right now, the way the players are on this offense, nobody else is scaring an offensive coordinator like Lenore Sellers scares them. Last year, if Lenoris wasn't doing his thing in that 6-game win streak, you know who was doing his thing? Rocket. It comes down to that. You got to get Rocket Sanders back.
Yeah.
I made up my mind.
Well, you can't do that.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why don't we sue? Let's take that in NCAA to court. What the hell, right?
Yeah.
But that's the point is, coming back to it, he's doing the same percentage.
Him that kind of
right. I mean, he's doing the same percentage, but it's not the same effect, if that makes sense.
It does.
Go ahead, sir.
It does. Again, is it problematic? I don't know. And this is a question that we could ask and have tons of debate about. And for some schools, it might not be. I mean, is it problematic for Georgia? Not really.
No.
Is it problematic for? Now, here's the thing. And I have another question. Like, does the conference have a superpower? Ohio State is a superpower. I don't know that the Big Ten has another one.
No, they don't.
Penn State would like to be. Michigan would like to be. Oregon is getting
on
there.
Their way.
But Oregon needs to win.
Yeah, they
got to
win. They got to do something. Right.
But I think they are. I think Oregon is a better program than Penn State or Michigan.
I think you bring up a great point. But let's take it to another level. Is it problematic if you're in the bottom half of the SEC?
Well, that's just it. But I mean, if you're Rhett Lashley and you've got some things, and again, this is how I came up with this question today. They're saying how the SMU has such great boosters, and obviously it's not a huge private school, but it's an incredibly wealthy private school in a big city. And he's got everything he needs right there. I mean, let's face it, SMU could recruit the Dallas Metroplex and have, a lot of schools could just.
They can walk and recruit.
Yeah.
They don't have to drive anywhere.
So, he's got that going for him. But the allure would be, look, Arkansas probably can pay you more money, and you are in the SEC.
That's your alma mater.
Yeah. And for Shane and Rhett both, the alma mater part, I think that's almost, I don't want to say an icing on the cake, but that becomes more coincidental.
I don't disagree.
If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I don't disagree.
Because you might still want to go after a Rhett Lashley type if you were Arkansas and that coach was at SMU.
Aren't you hoping that you pull on his emotional feels, so to speak, because I think you were heading down a road that is very interesting. Okay, let's say you're Rhett Lashley. SMU is going to pay you well. They might not be able to pay you Arkansas well, but they're going to pay you well. Your path to the ACC championship and your path to the SEC championship is so different. SMU was in the college football playoff last year.
Yes.
Remember, there was a debate about strength of schedule and all that stuff, but they got in because they won the regular season. Because that path through the ACC is much easier than Arkansas's path through the SEC. So if you're Rhett Lashley, you have to really think hard on that. If your goal is to win championships and be in the conversation and have which leads you to your professional growth, you know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, I do. And let me ask it like this, because I agree. So let me ask this, and this isn't me pushing back. This is me asking another question. Is Georgia's path to the SEC championship harder than Arkansas's?
No.
Why?
Because they got better players and better program.
That's it. They got better players.
Yeah.
So if you can go recruit better players, and I'm not saying that's a big if.
Sure.
So but when I read that, I'm not saying it makes me mad or anything like that, and I'm not here to. The Southeastern Conference doesn't need me in Columbia, South Carolina, to defend it or prop it up. But I hear a lot of that. Well, again, that could be an allure for Shane. And I'm not here to tell Shane how to think, but the path to the championship could be easier. Well, okay, I get why. I'm not naive, and I'm not trying to argue it, but is that a problem?
Well, I guess it depends on how you think, right? Like for an example, if you're Lashley and you want to go coach in the most competitive, the best college football conference in the country, and you want to go for it, then that doesn't matter to you because you're saying this, I'll go recruit better players, and I'll end up like Eli at Missouri. I'll end up like Ole Miss with Lane. The right coach has proven if they can go get players, they can move themselves up in the pecking order in the SEC. Right. But then the question is, and this is a hard question to ask, but it's being realistic, can I go do that in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Right.
In 2025.
Yeah, and I don't know, but somebody's got to go attempt it.
Or are you better off at SMU in 2025 than you're in Fayetteville, Arkansas? That's the real hard question. Yeah. We take all the BS out of the way. Are you better off at SMU than you would be in Arkansas today?
Here's the thing, too, and this is why I almost wish that we weren't talking about, in this case, for different reasons, two guys that might go, at least their alma maters are going to be interested in them. For Rhett Lashley, I would like to believe that going from Southern Methodist to the University of Arkansas is a step up. And I will until convinced otherwise believe that it is. And now to switch it around a little bit, for Shane Beamer to go to Virginia Tech is not a step up. You can say it's a step sideways.
I think it's a step down.
And right now, I would think it's a step down.
Yes.
Now, is it a massive step down? No. And by the way, and I didn't get to this today, but I do have it in my notes. Virginia Tech's board yesterday did approve the additional $229 million over 4 years.
They had to. They really had to.
So that part of the equation is done. For whomever may take over at Virginia Tech, including perhaps a new athletics director, which still seems to be part of the conversation from some of the things I've read up that way. But for now, Whit Babcock is still in charge.
Let me, and I know that this isn't as easy as this because we got like 30 seconds. Okay, you're Rhett Lashley. How you doing, Rhett?
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Arkansas offers you the job. You taking it? More money. They're giving you more money, and SMU can't match it. What are you doing?
I think you go. If you're that guy, I think that's what coaches want more often than not. Anyway.
I think I would take it too, and here's why. If I go there and fail, I've already got a resume that looks good before I went there.
Yeah.
And look at Arkansas right now. There's a cemetery filled with failure since Bobby Petrino's first trip through there. Right. Mm-hmm. I think you can be okay and come back if you're at Lashley and go somewhere else. But to me, I'd go for it. Yeah. I'd take the Arkansas game.
And again, and I'd love to hear from some of you guys. I mean, is it problematic when you hear that, when you read that about the Southeast? Well, the path to the playoff is easier in the Big Ten, in the Big 12, in the ACC. All right, well, we gonna dumb down the SEC for that, or
it just says the SEC is so bleeping tough, man.
That's our drive around the league. We'll wrap up Start Bench Drop. Jay versus the Internet on the other side. All right, welcome back in. Final few minutes of the program. Cubs have beaten the Padres final 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 games in the books. Tigers have won in Cleveland today 2-1. Cubs win 3-1 at Wrigley. The Sox and the Yankees tonight in the Bronx. That one in just a few minutes. And tonight at 9, Reds at the Dodgers. Start bench drop today was batting average, completion percentage, shooting percentage. Thanks to all who have weighed in. Albert says start batting average, bench shooting percentage, drop completion percentage. He says getting a hit in baseball is what it's been for over a century at its core. The other two have gotten easier due to changes in rules, offensive philosophies, etc. But he says some may disagree. Yeah, they might, but that's a good point. Richard says start, shooting percentage, bench, completion percentage, drop batting average. Shooting percentage is the only one of the 3 stats that directly leads to points. I don't disagree with that either, but if you're James Harden or Russell Westbrook and you're shooting 50 times a night, you can get away with a 30% shooting percentage and still score a lot of points.
Yeah, because we call that, and it's a nice high-volume scorers. That's a nice way to say you're a ball hog who takes a ton of shots.
When I was a kid, that was a ball hog.
Yes, a ball hog.
Yes, Jay.
I mean, you can shoot a high percentage and miss, but get points at the free throw line.
You can.
Free throw lines. Look, again, not to go down the rabbit hole, the best, there are advanced stats like effective shooting percentage and stuff like that in basketball to tell you more. A true shooting percentage is another one. Yeah. Because some of these things will value a 3-point shooting percentage over a 2-point shooting percentage.
Right.
But at the end of the day, shooting percentage still does matter in basketball, just basic.
James says start shooting percentage, bench completion percentage, drop batting average. He says, for me, it's because if you have a low shooting percentage, it means you're not scoring. With completion percentage, there can be factors like drops. It's not your fault. And batting average isn't what it used to be. And Winter Wizard says batting average feels like the purest measure of individual performance to me. The other two depend more on teammates. So there you go. That's just a sampling, but thank you to all.
I like that last one because I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. I guess somebody's got to, somebody's got to drop a dime for you to.
Yeah, somebody puts you in a position to take a nice shot compared to putting you in a bad position. And completion percentage, yes, guys can drop passes. Good points.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've gone back and I'm really torn because this one is hard, and I like these to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I'm going
to start. I'm not. Maybe I'm a purist. I'm still going to start batting average.
Okay.
I'm going to bench completion percentage, and I'm going to drop shooting percentage.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm almost the complete opposite of you. I'm going to start shooting percentage. I'm going to bench completion percentage because I agree with the one tweet of drops can affect your completion percentage and your interception rate.
Yep.
How many times do we see a wide receiver drop a pass, ends up being a pick?
Yeah.
And I'm going to drop batting average. I'll be honest with you. I look at OPS now.
Yeah,
I look at on-base percentage. I look at slugging percentage. I'd rather have a guy that hits 260 with a 500 slugging percentage than a guy that hits 300 with a 400 slugging percentage. Because I think slugging percentage affects the game more, or on-base percentage.
Perhaps.
Because I want a guy that gets on base.
Yeah.
So I look at those more than batting average anymore. So that's me.
But again, maybe it's just the purist in me.
No, there's nothing wrong with that because we grew up as purists with batting average. There's no wrong answer here, man. Look, get your chin up. You're all right.
Yeah, it's because I'm really torn though. That was you know what, I shouldn't have made it so hard. So that's on me.
All right, hit the music for Millionaire, man. Let's do this thing. All right, Jay versus the internet, sir. These are very simple today.
How did I do yesterday, by the way? Do we know?
Oh yeah, I got to go back to it.
Well, that's okay.
Now we don't have time.
All right.
You picked the Broncos not to cover but to win. That was the one you lost.
Oh, that was stupid.
That's the one you lost.
That was stupid.
Yeah, very, very bright by you. All right, Red Sox, very simple. Red Sox, Yankees. Crochet against Fried tonight. 2 excellent pitchers. The game's in New York. Who you taking?
Max Fried led the majors in wins, so I'll take the Yankees and Max Fried.
Reds and Dodgers. Hunter Green and his 200-mile-an-hour fastball going into Dodger Stadium against Blake Snell. Blake Snell's home ERA is almost 1.
Nah, man. Dodgers at home in the playoffs. Give me Dodgers.
And finally, Aaron Judge is 3 for 15 lifetime off of Garrett Crochet. Also, Aaron Judge kind of struggled against the Red Sox this year. Over under 1.5 hits tonight for Aaron Judge against Garrett Crochet.
Oh. Now, just against Crochet or in the game?
Just against Crochet. No, you'll make it in the game. Make it easier. In the game. Over under 1.5 hits in the game.
Under.
Under. All right, there you go. So you've got Yankees, Dodgers, and Aaron Judge with the under.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Not sure I like that last one, but I'm going to.
You don't like what you picked today?
Just that last one. The first two I'm fine with.
First two you're fine
I think
with?
the Yankees will win the game. This is the second year in a row that there was not a 20-game winner in a full Major League season. Ever. So the first time ever that there's been consecutive seasons without 20 games.
It's crazy. The win for a starting pitcher has just lost its luster. Another thing you and I grew up on, 20-game winners for starters, man.
Again, Phil Nieker was 21-21 one year. See y'all tomorrow.